Now that you understand the system, you now need to go out online and choose your niche market. The niche is so important because this is what your entire campaign will be based upon. You need to find a niche market where you can easily find effective solutions for people. So what I want you to do is go on over to clickbank.com. Clickbank.com. So just go on over here to clickbank.com. And what you want to do here is you want to go out to where it says Marketplace up here at the top. And then over here, you're going to notice it's going to ask for a category. So for example here, let's just choose the health and fitness category. So I'm just going to choose Go. And it's going to bring up a listing of sites based on popularity in the health and fitness category. So you notice inside here you've got everything from fat burning to how to have six-pack abs to different diets and different things like that. Most of these are diet muscle building type things. You'll see something for panic attacks, pregnancies, and again more fat burning item. And these are under based on popularity. So basically you can kind of get an idea. People possibly, for example, want to know ways to lose weight. Everybody, it seems, wants to know that. You've got fitness training, turbulence, training. All these are different products about, being in better shape, different things like that. So you can also, under the different categories, search by high gravity, which is also another indicator, basically within ClickBank, that, kind of sorts out as to items that people are selling a lot of. So if you look for some high gravity items in the health and fitness category, for example, you can quickly narrow down, some potential niches. You've got muscle building, you've got panic attacks, you've got, abs, different things like that are possible niche markets to consider. So you can browse through the ClickBank marketplace and look in different categories. You've got even a home and family category that you can do this with, so you can kind of see, things like the magic of making up, getting back with your ex. That's popular. People want to know how to do those kinds of things as well. Green energy, that kind of stuff also. So different, niche markets where you can basically help people solve problems. So here's some things, another site that I want to show you. This is called dummies.com, and I'm sure you've probably recognized this logo right off the bat. Dummies.com is basically the website for the Dummies books, the books that you see in Amazon, the books you see, all over your local bookstores. These are all sorts of Dummies books out there. So what I recommend you do is click on Store, and the reason I recommend you come over here is just simply because people online and people out there all over the world are buying Dummies books up all the time. And Dummies, before they go out there, the Dummy series, before they produce a book, they spend a lot of money out there, researching, understanding what the market wants, and different things like that. So they've done all the research for you because they're not going to spend, thousands upon thousands of dollars to market new books and new titles if it's not something that's going to sell and be popular. So what I find is very interesting is that dummies.com, you actually can go there and look through their store and get an idea of really all sorts of potential niche markets. You've got here, for example, a featured title, Windows 7. That's a brand new operating system. So obviously people need help and need to find a solution for that. So if you could possibly become an affiliate for a product that talks about Windows 7, that might be a good niche to go after. But you can scroll down here, for example, look under like the health category here on dummies.com. You'll notice here in the health category, right off the bat, you've got acne. So it talks about how to get rid of acne, ADHD, Alzheimer's. Now, obviously, these are listed out, A to Z. You could actually sort these out by publication date if you wanted to as well. But really, you get some ideas right off the bat there. Acne, for example, is something, that people struggle with, and therefore they've produced an entire book on that. So going in there that that's something that's been researched and something that you could possibly do a book about. Back pain remedies as well. That's another problem people suffer from, and a solution would be great for them to find. So there's one all about back pain. So you get an idea there that these would be ebooks, potential ebooks and courses that people would also be interested in buying. Because if they're going to spend, all this money producing these books, then it means there's a market and demand for those kinds of things. Now another site, it's kind of creative, that you can look at is WebMD. WebMD is more, it's a health related type website for better health and things like that. But you notice here all these different health conditions. You've got everything from heart disease to back pain to heartburn to, migraine headaches, different things like that, skin problems, sleep disorders, ADHD, allergies, all these kind of things people could potentially want solutions for. And there's actually a lot of ebook that provide natural solutions, for back pain relief. They provide, natural solutions to curing depression, natural solutions to, getting over ADHD, different things like that. And so you could possibly determine some possible niche markets to look further into just by looking at a site like WebMD.com. That's very, very huge and highly effective. You see even here that they've got a lot of articles on healthy living, so how to eat better, how to diet and get in shape. So, diet and weight loss is very, very popular among people. So again, that would be an indication that that would be another niche. One other site that you can actually turn to for your research, it's a site called 43 Things, 43things.com. 43things.com is really great. What it basically is, it's kind of a site where people go in there and they post things that they want to do, in the next year, things like that. It's kind of like New Year's resolutions, things like that. But it's kind of, more or less things like, it doesn't even have to be New Year's resolutions, but it can just be, 43 things people want to do, right away or before they die or different things like that. Well, here's, you can click over here on the right hand side. They actually have an option for the most popular most of the time. You can see an option for the most popular. And you'll notice here the number one thing is lose weight. Obviously there's a lot of people here that have filled out information. Lose weight, fall in love, so you've got relationships, losing weight, getting a job, maybe resume courses, how to do cheap travel, how to quit smoking. Again, love, different things like that. So that really gives you an idea. You could also look at yearly resolution trends. Okay, so I've given you some ideas, so you can browse through 43 Things as well. You can browse through ClickBank. You can look at, the different categories on dummies.com. You could look at WebMD. So I hope that you actually take some of these ideas I've given you and select a nice profitable niche market. The niche market I'm going to go after is the lose weight niche just because it's so huge. And so in the videos to follow, we're going to set up a campaign, an article marketing campaign, to generate that extra $100 or so per day. But number one is find a nice niche market first that you think can be profitable, something that can make a lot of money, and then pursue it that way. And one other thing you could do is actually go out to Google and you could actually do research on that niche market just to see the popularity. So like I could type in natural acne cure, for example, and then do a Google search and kind of take a look at what kind of results I get back. And look for advertisements, look for popularity, look for different things like that that might come up there in Google. So basically that's just some ideas you can do to further the process. But most importantly is look over ClickBank, look at dummies.com, look at WebMD, and spend some time thinking of possible niche markets where you can provide solutions to people, because that's where it happens. When you provide a solution to a problem and you can make those affiliate commissions and generate that $100 or so per day eventually that you're trying to go after, or whatever your financial goals might be. At least it gives you something to start with. So start by finding a niche market. In the next video we'll go over researching that niche market, and then we'll continue on with the campaign after that.